man, I grew up in Washington, D.C. Back in the 80s when the Hogs and the Redskins, the team formerly known as Redskins, whatever you want to call them nowadays, the Commanders. They were the Redskins back then.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? And that was when they were winning Super Bowls and, 3 Super Bowls in the 80s. And I just loved the game. My dad played at Howard University. I didn't get to see him play, obviously, but, he told me and he had pictures, and I just liked the game. So I just said, you know what? 7th grade, I picked it up. I tried to play in Pop Warner, but my mother didn't let me play because I couldn't make the weight for my age group. I would have had to play up, and she didn't want me to play up with the older kids.
Right.
So I didn't do that until 7th grade. I picked up, when I picked up a football, put the pads and the helmet on, and just started seeing what it was like and just having fun.
Okay, tell me about the life in D.C., man. Tell me about D.C. I know about the go-go music. Tell me, how did the culture of D.C. influence Mr. Jonathan Ogden?
Man, D.C. was great, man. Chocolate City, growing up there, taking the subway around, like living where the Capitol is, the White House is, all that stuff was just second nature. It was just there to me. Looking back at it, man, I don't think I'd ever want to go back to live in D.C. because it's a busy city. It's just very busy, and I don't like that lifestyle anymore. But to grow up there, man, it was the best, man. I got to experience like the best and the worst. Like we had some, like the murder rate was like the worst in the U.S. at the time, but we also had like diplomats, and I graduated with a Rockefeller and a Marriott in my class from high school. That's the type of school I went to. So I got to see the whole gamut of everything that DC had to offer.
Okay,
but let me ask you this, because you think of East Coast, especially coming from the West Coast like I do. In DC, is basketball bigger or is football bigger?
Oh, come on, Shawty. Everybody's Shawty in DC. That's what they call everybody. But nah, man, basketball is
the Matha and all that. Yeah,
the DMV. They just did a little special on ESPN or something about all the ballers that come out of that area. Durant and Beasley, had a ton of dudes come out of there. But basketball was my first love growing up, honestly. I used to be like, look out for that crossover. I get with that cross, and pull up, hit that three, and they get back, But I also knew that I was probably never gonna make it in the NBA. But my football skills, basketball was like kind of helped my football skills. Honestly, it was like playing defense or like pass blocking. You just kind of defending the basket, defending the quarterback. So I just kind of translated that, and then when I started playing football.
Okay. Yeah, man. I think basketball is the one sport that you are an athlete. You know what I mean? You can transcend it. You can go to baseball, you can go to football, and you can always stay in basketball. You know what I mean? It's one of those sports where you have to, if you're an athlete, you'd be okay. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. If you got spatial awareness and how to just be an athlete, like you say, basketball is the best. It is.
Yeah, tell me this then. You grew up on the East Coast. You grew up a good football player. All them big schools on the East Coast. How did you end up on the West Coast playing for UCLA?
Okay, well, every school recruited me.
Right.
And there wasn't a school out there that I didn't get a letter from to talk to a coach. But there wasn't no real good football in the immediate area. Like University of Maryland was, UVA was so-so. And I took a trip there because for certain reasons, I took a trip there because my coach knew people there, and he asked me to take a trip there.
Okay.
But it was a nice school. UVA was great. But every place else was kind of a plane ride. And Penn State is in the middle of nowhere. I didn't want to do that. So I also took a trip to Florida, took a trip to Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what, Florida was nice. Eastbury was great. But Gainesville was just Gainesville, right? So UCLA, they called me up probably I want to say in September. And they're like, we'd like you to take a trip. I said, I don't know. And I told them, I said, yeah. Probably in October, I said, yeah. They said, you know what? Why don't you wait till January, after the holidays. You come out here, take a trip. So I get on a plane it's January 4th, 5th, whatever. It's after New Year's. It's 30 degrees in D.C. I land in LAX, 75 degrees, sunny. I'm like, God damn. It's how y'all got this weather? I ain't know it could be 75 in January. And then they were smart. They ain't take me down the 405. They took me down PCH. We stopped at Gladstone's restaurant for lunch. We went up Sunset, stayed in Beverly Hills. I'm like, LA, we might be able to get this little run, And then you play at the Rose Bowl, one of the most iconic stadiums in college sports. So it's probably the best decision I made. We didn't win as many games as I would have liked, but you know what? I had a great time going there. Made great friends, and I wouldn't have traded for anything.
The lifestyle in Los Angeles is a whole lot different than D.C. As far as the music, the culture, even the people, just the people alone. How did you adjust coming from the East Coast swing out to that West Coast gangster?
You know what, man? I kind of had a little in me already. I was always like a fan of like the West Coast flavor. You know, I liked NWA and everything growing up. Mm-hmm. But when I got out there, man, it was like the golden era of like rap, if you ask me, in the 90s. Like Dre's, Chronic had just dropped, Snoop's stuff was dropping, you know, like everything. And I just kind of, you know, fell back into that little low ride lifestyle. Like, you know, the cats out here got it. They all right, you know what I'm saying?
What about that go-go now? Come on, that go-go got funk to it now, baby.
Hey, man, I tried to introduce a couple cats to the go-go. They just didn't want to do it. And I said, that's all good, man. I'm going to just keep my little Ari, my little Red Essence, my little Junkyard, little Pleasure Tapes up in my own little car playing by myself. But you know what? You can't mess around rolling down the street smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice down in L.A., you know what I'm saying? That you're like, okay, this is all right, you know?
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Man, so now you're at UCLA. You getting adjusted to the California life. Man, tell me about the campus life of a big school like UCLA mixed in with the soul of, you know, of the Pac-12 and getting your opportunity to meet all these different stars out here, man. Tell me about that. How did you react to that?
I thought it was a lot of fun, man, just being able to experience just Los Angeles, Hollywood, going to Prince's Club, Glam Slam, just being able to do that type of stuff was so much fun. I mean, we snuck into the after party for like the American Music Awards. They had them on campus one year. We snuck in. I mean, it's just being able to do stuff like that and just to be able to meet so many people, a lot of people from California, but I hadn't met a lot of people from California at the time. So just to meet people from the West Coast and just to kind of get to know people out there, just to know that it's a laid back, yet it's aggressive yet laid back at the same time. You know, it was a good fit for me, man. That campus is beautiful. Like, you're surrounded by Beverly Hills, Bel Air, you know what I'm saying, Brentwood, right in the heart. I mean, it's just beautiful, man. And it was a kind of a pain in the ass to walk the campus, you know, my first year, and living in the dorms. But once I got off campus, though, I was chilling.
Yeah, because I know I took a trip there, and I mean, you know, Jackie Robinson baseball field was, so did the football, and then the baseball. I was like, man, this is its own city in itself. You know, and I ended up at the University of Miami, man. I didn't have to take a car for 3 years. I mean, you don't have to take a car. You know what I mean? And it was overwhelming. But I'm coming from the West Coast. And, people say, how do you live in Vegas to chill? And I was like, man, we don't see Vegas. You know what I mean? We don't see what you guys see. Yeah.
I describe Vegas to people as like a big donut, and like the strip is like the hole in the middle. But motherfuckers just try to avoid that shit. We go all around that son bitch if you can. Because, I mean, when last week when the Super Bowl was here, you know, you were forced to go down, and when you have to go down there, you go down there. But if you can avoid it like the plague, you know.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. The donut. Yeah, I'm
I like that.
We just got to go around it. You go around the 215, around the 95. Don't go through the 15. You're going to have to.